everybody, this is Christine with Cocoa Daisy, and today I'm going to share with you the couple layouts that I did using the Daisy Fields, that's our September collection, Traveler's Notebook Memory Keeping Kit. And I love this collection. I love the colors that are in here. We did another collaboration with Lanús Potts, and her artwork was perfect to create this kind of cozy end of summer, beginning of fall feel. And I really felt that with kind of this color combination of these warm golds and browns and the daisy. And as I was looking through my pictures, trying to figure out what I wanted to use with this, I loved this saying. And I thought, I don't journal heavy usually, but this saying inspired me to do that. And I think that's one of the things that I really wanted to mention about this layout is we try to pick quotes that are great jumping off points, that are great ways to kind of help you think outside the box a little bit, which is what this one did for me, because normally you wouldn't look at this and think, okay, a pot of soup. I mean, how does that work with that saying? And it did. The connection fit for me because, it's cooking for my family. It's dinner time when we all sit together. Those things are so incredibly important. And I just felt like it went so perfectly with this saying. And so I encourage you, when you go through all of the stuff that you get in your kit, look at those quotes and think about them and let them guide you for ideas on layouts. Layouts don't necessarily need to be just the big things. They don't need to be, just the big vacations and the holidays and the birthdays. I think, to me anyway, the everyday stuff is way more important to record, because that's the stuff you forget, and that's the stuff that sometimes you want to really write about and make sure that your family and your kids someday read that and they know your thoughts on that stuff. And so look at those quotes and think about them and let them kind of become a jumping off point, like I said, to put down memories that maybe you normally wouldn't. And I thought also that the design-wise, the photograph, the colors in it are so perfect with this as well. This reminded me, this pattern here of the hot pad, or the placemat, reminds me of the wheat. So you get that mimic going on as well. And again, with design, that's always important to try and mimic things. And I kept it pretty simple. I wanted the focus to be on the saying and the photo and then what I wrote. But I did highlight the photograph a little bit by tilting it. It pushes you down into the journaling. And even though it's a smaller photograph, it still catches your eye because it is tilted. I raised it up on a little bit of foam adhesive. And then behind it, I added these hexagon die cuts that were part of the die cut pack. And remember, all of our die cuts are stickers, so you can peel the backing off of those super easy. I just cut this one so that I could put it on the other page here. And then I added the little wheat rub-ons. And a little note about the rub-ons: when you use those, the first thing I do when I pull them out is I staple the rub-ons to their backer. Let me actually pull that out for you and show you. That way it keeps them protected, it keeps them together. So I staple it right together. If I can get that apart and show you. So the backer to the rub-ons, I just put a little staple in there. And then when you use them, cut them out. So cut out what you're going to use individually. That way you don't run the risk of, if you're laying your hand down and you press on anything else on the sheet. So you're just going to want to cut out and use the ones that you want. And so I added those there, and I curved them a little bit there's a lot of circles and curves in the photograph. And so I kind of added those there to mimic that as well. Ran my page through my printer and added my journaling. If you don't know how to do that, you can look on my Instagram feed. I have a couple of examples on how to do that. It's super simple. You just need a light table or a bright window. So what I did is I actually cut the page out, ran it through, and then adhered it to the next page. You may lose a page or two if you do it that way, but that doesn't bother me at all. The other thing you could do is cut this apart and turn it into a mini album. And then on this side, I thought this was simple and beautiful just the way it was. I didn't want to, like I said, I didn't want to overpower the design. I didn't want to overpower the sentiment. So I just added the one of the beautiful, I absolutely love these, the embossed puffy stickers. And it's the little daisy. I added that on there. Little die cut little saying there, and then that's it. Super, super simple. So I wanted to take the same idea, because we're talking about using sayings and using quotes and using those as jumping off points. So I did the same thing, kind of going along with the same theme too, as far as everyday moments, by using one of the Traveler's Notebook cards. Now these are, again, great jumping off points. These are great. So this is enjoy the simple things. This is lazy day musings. This could just be your thoughts on a day that you type in there. And then, or if you have a kitty, you could put your picture of your kitty in there, because kitties are kind of lazy. And so the story goes. So again, these are great jumping off points. This was one of them. And I loved the blues in this. I thought it went really, really well with the kind of the grays and that we have going on in the picture here. And I love this picture. It's Zach and I sitting out on the deck having lunch. You can see little Lilu looking up at him, as well as the other two pups. There's Blue and Bodie. They're begging as well. And of course you can tell they're begging by Zach, not by me. And it was just a moment. He asked if we could sit on the deck and have lunch, and I wanted to remember that. Those are just so fleeting, and you have to, that to me again is what's so important. And so I had lots of great color going on in this picture, and the rub-ons had these paint swatches, and it has almost all the same colors, the little bits of colors that you pick up in the photograph. And then it has the little blue, which carries over as well. And so I ran that down the side as this fun border. And again, remember to cut that out separately. I stamped using the this stamp set. And we've continued on with this theme. I did want to mention, I believe it's October. We don't have a border or a block stamp like this or grid. We figure you've had a lot of them that you can go back and use. So for October, what we did, we are continuing on with the month and the number for the month and some of those other things that you layer in those blocks. But then we had a little room here to add some other things. So it kind of gives you a few more stamps, and for those of you that feel that you have enough of the blocks, then it has some other items as well. But don't worry, we may go back to some month and throw, because we'd like to do a whole year that has the numbers and the month at least with a couple things, and just to kind of create an entire series, which is so nice. Because you can see what I did here, because we have that series going. This photograph was actually taken in June, and I used the date, the number for the month, the June one. I went back and used that. So it's a great series to have all those. I added my type. I added that from the computer. I printed that, ran it through Cafe, and then the journaling. I used the Puffy Alphas to add the title, and then a date stamp, and then I used the little snapshot, little checkbox stamp for in there. And then I also used the little tail for the bumblebee. I stamped that on there. And then these are a couple die cuts that I went through. I cut them out a little bit tighter and then stuck them on there. And remember that our die cuts all are stickers. Added a little one there as well. And I raised the photograph up with a little bit of foam adhesive. So that again was another quick, easy layout to put together. And I came up with the layout by looking at the Traveler's Notebook memory keeping card, and that gave me the idea for the picture that I wanted to use, and then the journaling. So again, it's the perfect way to to use your product to help jumpstart your creativity. So that's kind of the theme this month. So I hope that you've gotten some inspiration and some ideas, and I hope that you look at your quotes and use them and they help you get your layouts done quickly.